the Chi-Town experience on the flight. Let me go tune in to Keek on the mic. He gon' make sure we get our news and highlights. When you get on YouTube, you better hit the like.
This connection between the Chicago Bears and this prominent free agent continues to heat up. Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. As always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. First and foremost, Bears fans, I hope you guys enjoyed your 4th of July with your family, shooting off fireworks, eating good food, just spending some quality time with some family. I know I definitely enjoyed some quality time with some family. I'm not really a big fireworks guy, but definitely enjoyed seeing other people shoot off the big explosives in the sky. Once again, I hope you guys enjoyed your 4th of July with your family. So, Bears fans, this is going to be an interesting conversation on today's episode of Keek on the Mic. It's definitely something that we have talked about before. The Chicago Bears are only 3 weeks away from the start of training camp. And we've talked a lot about Ryan Poles possibly continuing to add competition at certain areas of need. And it seems that Ryan Poles and the Bears may be content just going into training camp, seeing what they have first, and then maybe adding a veteran or two at some areas of need. One area of need that Bears fans, including myself, continue to bring up is the edge rushing position. Of course, you still have Montez Sweat. Yes, he took a step back last year with only 5.5 sacks, but he did deal with a lot of injuries. Obviously, he didn't really have a true running mate. So the expectation that he will take a step forward this season. They added Dayo Odeyingbo, which is definitely a welcome addition. Definitely has all the tools and the size to be probably a really good asset under Dennis Allen's defense here in Chicago. But his sacks definitely come in bunches. They're hoping that he can take the next step forward and definitely generate a lot of pressure and get a whole lot of sacks for the Chicago Bears defense. And of course, you have Grady Jarrett as well. He's not at this moment in his career the interior monster that he once was, but I still think he'll also be a very welcome addition. But it just seems like this team needs just one more credible pass rusher to really generate a whole lot of pressure. That was definitely a struggle for this Bears defensive line last year, was not only generating pressure, but getting sacks on opposing quarterbacks as well. So it seems that Ryan Poles could go into training camp just with Dayo Odeyingbo, Montez Sweat, obviously Austin Booker, and seeing what Javon Dexter can do as well, maybe playing on the edge as well. But I definitely think that he could make one more big move for a credible veteran pass rusher. And Albert Breer of the MMQB also believes at least one name could be in play for the Chicago Bears. It's definitely someone that they know plenty about, and that is Za'Darius Smith. Bears fans, this is what Albert Breer had to say about the situation. He said, I think that's all relative to what's out there. So they'll get a look at DeAndre Swift and Roschon Johnson at running back, and Montez Sweat and Dayo Odeyingbo, who plays some inside on passing downs on the edges when the pads go on. And then maybe consider guys such as Jamal Williams at running back or Za'Darius Smith as an edge rusher. Bears fans, I will be honest with you. This is something that I've been talking about time and time again right here on Keek on the Mic. I am all in on Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears going to get a guy like Za'Darius Smith. Of course, he is already 32 years old, which is not the age that you want to bring guys in, but he has all the tools and qualities that Dennis Allen is looking for in an edge rusher in his defense here in Chicago. He's 6'4", 275 pounds, has 69 career sacks. In 2024, he posted a 76.5 pass rush grade, also had 9 sacks and 63 total pressures. This is a guy that everywhere he has gone, he has been a consistent player, not only as a valuable veteran mentor to the younger guys, but also contributing on the field as well. Last year for the Detroit Lions, he had 4 sacks in 8 games, really helping them in that defense secure the #1 seed in the playoffs. Once again, good size measurable at 6'4", 275 pounds. And the one thing I really like about adding a guy like Za'Darius Smith, not only does it give Montez Sweat a true running mate, now you can really have Dayo Odeyingbo pushed onto the inside where I feel like he is more effective. Of course, you could still have Dio Dingbo on the outside as well, along with Javon Dexter. But I just think that adding a guy like Za'Darius Smith, a guy that has made a living getting into the backfield, it gives Dennis Allen and this Bears defense a little bit more flexibility to really be creative and really get after the quarterback. Bears fans, the one big thing I really like about Za'Darius Smith is that everywhere he has gone, he has really helped create a winning culture, has been a part of a lot of winning teams as well. So I think it'll be very valuable, especially for Ben Johnson and Ryan Poles, trying to create that habit and trying to create that winning culture here in Chicago, something that this organization is not used to. I think it's beneficial to bring in a guy that has been part of a winning culture and been part of actually helping create that winning culture, part of different organizations, bring it over here to Chicago. Not only will he be a great veteran mentor to the younger guys that we have, like Austin Booker, Javon Dexter, even Dio Dingbo, but he would also contribute at a very high level. And to me, give Montez Sweat a true running mate on the outside. So once again, I think Ryan Poles and the Bears will be content going into training camp and see what they have in Dio Dingbo, Javon Dexter, obviously Montez Sweat, and see how it works out with pads on. If they feel like they need one more guy, I think Za'Darius Smith will definitely still be flowing out around there. And I think he would be an instant contributor to the Chicago Bears offensive line. So this is definitely something to monitor. I think it's definitely something that continues to heat up. Insiders across the NFL keep talking about it, that it seems like it's the perfect fit between Za'Darius Smith and the Chicago Bears. And I did note a while back when talking about Za'Darius Smith right here on the podcast that he has played for every single NFC North team besides the Chicago Bears. So it'd be really funny if he finished his, circuit around the NFC North with the Chicago Bears. So Bears fans, do you want to see Ryan Poles and the Bears add Za'Darius Smith during training camp? Let me know down below in the comment section. But Bears fans, before I let you guys go on today's episode of Keek on the Mic, I also want to talk about maybe another area of need. I know it's not really a need, but I think we can definitely add competition to that area. And that is the cornerback room here in Chicago. And I know you guys might think I'm crazy because the cornerback room here in Chicago is absolutely loaded. You have Jalen Johnson as cornerback 1. Tyreek Stevenson and Terrell Smith fighting out for cornerback 2. You have Kyler Gordon in the slot. And then when you look at the reserves right now, the Bears secondary is pretty solid. You have Josh Blackwell and Zaw Frazier as well that they just picked up in the 2025 NFL draft. But there's also a whole lot of talent in free agency, guys that can bring in solid competition in regard to training camp. And the one player that I'm really looking at, and I'm kind of curious to see if Ryan Poles and the Bears would be interested in as well, that is Asante Samuel Jr. He was the ascending rising star for the Los Angeles Chargers since 2021. He's only 25 years old, staying at 5'10", 180 pounds. In his first 3 seasons, he collected 6 interceptions for the Los Angeles Chargers, has extensive starting experience, has started 47 career games in 50 games. But the big thing about Asante Samuel Jr., he definitely took a step back, only played 4 games in 2024 for the Chargers, and recently had neck surgery. So obviously when you're dealing with a neck injury, that can mean long-term implications, and then that can definitely bring a halt to your NFL career. But I think this is a guy that can come in and bring valuable experience and maybe even groom the young guys. I know Terrell Smith is a guy that's going to be in the mix, probably being for cornerback 2, maybe with Tyreek Stevenson. I'm a guy that's going to be, to me, be able to take that next step forward. Obviously, Josh Blackwell has been huge. They definitely love Zaw Frazier as well, a guy that's going to come in, I think, once he gets used to things and learns what Dennis Allen is looking for in this Bears defense, a guy that can compete for a spot on this defense as well. But I don't think it hurts to bring in a little bit more competition as well. And I think Asante Samuel Jr., even with his injury concerns, I think it would be a really interesting add prior to the start of training camp just to bring in competition. So Bears fans, would you like to see Chicago Bears add a guy like Asante Samuel Jr., just for a little competition as we go into training camp? Let me know down below in the comment section. But Bears fans, as always, make sure you guys continue to hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms, and make sure you share this episode of Keek on the Mic with every single Bears that you know. But other than that, be back for an all-new Bears podcast right here on Keek on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and as always, Bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You can go and subscribe cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic.